And another thing my grandfather taught me during this process was also to take congruent action. When he started visualizing, having the Arthur Murray Dance Studio, being the talk of the convention, he said he really started acting as if he already had that. And he started doing all of these different things. But as he started to do all these different things, it kind of programmed him to become this new version of himself, like in the process of that, where he was also impressing the subconscious mind through visualization. If you've ever tried to use your imagination or use the law of assumption the Neville Goddard way, but you just couldn't find success, maybe you had a few little things change in your life, but you never actually received the thing that you were visualizing. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use this and the reason why it hasn't worked for you yet. And I'm going to give you another practical exercise that's also going to induce or create this power within you so you can really start using this, because Neville Goddard really didn't get into this stuff very deeply of how to gain control of this power within you. And in this video, I'm going to teach you that, and I'm going to give you an exercise that's going to take you to that next level. And I'm not just somebody that's teaching you something, okay? Most people that you find on YouTube and different places that are teaching you different things, they don't show you anything, okay? And if you know me, if you're one of the people that know me and you follow me and you're in my communities and you watch my live events and you see everything that I broadcast and that I show you that I create within my life, you know that I apply this stuff. I'm making multiple six figures every single month, and I wasn't always successful. I've been down to the very bottom of life, okay? I was hit rock bottom. I've been to the very, very bottom, okay? And I got myself back up by learning this, what I'm about to teach you today, how to control your attention. I'm going to give you an exercise on that, but I'm not just somebody teaching you something. I'm somebody that is teaching you something that they actually use themselves, and they've mastered this. Don't ever listen to somebody that's trying to teach you something that they don't know how to use, and they can't show you those results. Okay, so that's what I'm going to teach you today. And every single one of you has this power within you. I am not a super talented, smart person. Most of you are probably smarter than me. Your capability to learn is higher than mine. You probably have a way better capability of making lots more money than I do, or being super successful, getting great physique, having great relationships and wisdom and health and everything within your life. Better than me. But I was able to do it in a very short amount of time. So imagine how fast you can do it. And that's what I'm going to give you today. What a lot of people aren't going to tell you, and they just want to skip and they want to tell you all this magical stuff with manifestation, but they're not actually telling you how to gain this power or create this power within yourself. Because Neville Goddard went over this stuff, okay? Neville Goddard was right. You can do this. Everything he says is true, but he just doesn't really get to the core concept of being able to control your attention. Because the way the world is now is a lot different than it was when Neville Goddard was around. Okay, they didn't have social media. They didn't have Netflix. They didn't have all of these different distractions, all these different types of drugs that are everywhere, and people are partying and doing all this stuff, like this crazy stuff where you're completely distracted and your mind is just gone. Okay, they didn't have that then. And Neville Goddard was a vaudeville dancer, where it's like a form of yoga, basically, where he has control over the direction of his attention with his own body, like doing yoga all the time. You gain control over the subconscious when you do that. And what this does is you start to create this power within you, okay? When you start to create this power within you, you start to eliminate all this stuff in your life, all of the distractions, and you go dark. You go dark for a little bit. You stop hanging out. You stop watching social media. You stop getting into all these other things, and you start avoiding certain things within your life, and then you start doing these exercises, and you'll find that you'll be able to create wealth in a very, very short time. Maybe you have a business now. Maybe you're working somewhere and you really want to get out of that work and you want to start your own business. You want to create something. Maybe it's a brand. Maybe it's some sort of a business as an entrepreneur or something. And you just haven't hit that sweet spot yet within your career. And I'm telling you, once you learn this, you will be able to hit that sweet spot 9 out of 10 times. And it's going to work for you, and you're going to become a different version of yourself. But you must go through these exercises. You must find this power within yourself, and you will soon discover and awaken within the simulation. Because that's the key. When you have all these distractions in your world and you're distracted by social media and all these different comfort foods and all this comfortable relaxation and all these things distracting you, these things make you fall asleep within the simulation. You're now conditioned to only seek comfort and easy stuff. But really, When you gain control of the direction of your attention, your passion, the flame in your heart becomes ignited, and you find more love and passion in actually doing work. It doesn't have to be something that's frustrating or difficult. You start to have passion in your heart for it when you can control it. When you awaken within the simulation, you really start to love your life and love to help other people. And you start to realize that it's not about you, it's about them. When you're creating something, you stop saying, oh, me, and you start saying, okay, what can I do for them? And then you detach from your ego and you connect to the power within consciousness in that state. But it all boils down to the awakening process, which is controlling your attention, becoming present, knowing you're living in a simulation. And again, I want to reiterate that I'm not just somebody telling you this stuff that's not successful, that's been using it. I use this and I'm ultra successful right now. And it came to me relatively easy. It's actually really fun for me to make money because I found this control over my attention. While I was away, I eliminated all social media. I didn't even have access to any of this stuff. No drinking, no drugs. None of this stuff was in my life, and no relationships. I went dark completely. All of this stuff. So I was able to focus within myself and do these exercises until I gained control and I awakened within the simulation. And when this happens, this is when the magic happens, is when you start to see everything very, very clearly in your life. And you find that you're very passionate about certain things in your life, and you're very grateful to even have a life. And when you have gratitude within yourself, when you awaken through this process of controlling your attention, you'll find that taking action is really, really simple in difficult ways. When you would have, before you gained control of the direction of your attention or before you awakened, you found that these things were very difficult. Like all the things that you avoid every day that you don't want to do, once you gain control of the direction of your attention, you're going to want to do those things. Those things are going to be like fun for you. They're going to be exciting for you. You're going to have to do them. That's going to be the version of yourself that you're just like, when you wake up in the morning, you have 100 things to do, you just start doing them. You're not trying to put them off. You're hitting them head on because you're awake. And just like my grandfather, it was a testimonial in one of Neville Goddard's books. Elmer O. Locker Jr., my grandfather. When he got with Neville Goddard taught him this stuff. My grandfather was a ballroom dance instructor. He didn't have social media. They didn't have all that back then. So he had control of the direction of his attention. He was able to start using this stuff immediately. He was awakened. And as he started to visualize it, everything just came together. And then he wanted to create an Arthur Murray dance studio. He wanted to go to Las Vegas and be the talk of the convention with Arthur Murray with his dance studio. And he got it. He visualized it. He heard the applaud. He saw it very clearly in his mind. He felt that to be true. And then what did he say? What happened? He worked night and day. He don't know how it happened. It just became a new version of himself that he couldn't stop. He couldn't stop. And that's why you be very careful with what you create, because you become a new concept of yourself with this process. All right. But he worked night and day. He was campaigning. He was doing this. He was doing that. Everybody was telling him it can't happen. It's never going to happen. But it happened. Right. And he created that. And there's a lot of evidence on that, even online. In Neville Goddard's book, you see that. And I had an interview with him earlier in my, I think it was like 13 years ago. 14 years ago, before I went to prison, I did the interview. Okay. But it's all testimony, and you could find all this. All this stuff is true. All this stuff is true. If you learn how to use your visualization skills so you can control your attention, you can literally, the simulation can be controlled by you, and you can shift to the reality where these things happen. But you have to remember, when you visualize yourself creating a new business or creating something much bigger than you are now, you're going to become somebody entirely different. When you have control of the direction of your attention and you visualize correctly, you're going to impress the subconscious mind with a new version of you, not just your world, but you. You're going to be totally different. You're going to be doing all of these different things, and you're not going to remember the person that you were before. This is the way this works, but you have to get control of the direction of your attention. And another thing my grandfather taught me during this process was also to take congruent action. When he started visualizing, having the Arthur Murray dance studio, being the talk of the convention, he said he really started acting as if he already had that. And he started doing all of these different things. But as he started to do all these different things, it kind of programmed him to become this new version of himself, like in the process of that, where he was also impressing the subconscious mind through visualization, which created this new identity within him where there was nothing that could stop him. So the whole world moved in that direction, and all of the doors opened to where he could do anything that he wanted, and he created it that way. And this is the way manifestation truly works. Okay, there is two different types of manifestations the magical way. If you don't have any ability to do anything, you can create magically with your visualizations. But if you have the ability and you're trying to change your concept of yourself, you must do something sometimes. You can speed up the process by actually starting to act as if you're already that version of yourself. Like, start taking the first steps, but you're also visualizing. You're also falling asleep with this stuff. All right, so I won't waste any more of your time. I'm going to get right into the exercise now, guys. And I really love that you've been on this video this long, and you deserve to know this exercise and to do this exercise. And I'm very happy to give it to you. Okay, so before you go to sleep tonight, or as soon as you possibly can, just do this before you go to sleep at night. Okay, so, and this is a test to show. Also, like the previous video that I made of counting the bills, this is another one, okay? This one might be slightly more difficult, okay? But maybe for some of you, it won't be so difficult. All right, but this is another test to see where your attention is, okay? So before you go to sleep at night, I want you to take, like 10, 15 minutes, okay? 10, 15 minutes, so go to sleep a little bit earlier or lay down, okay? Doesn't matter what's going on around you. Don't worry about that stuff. All right, so I want you to affirm or make a statement, something that implies that something that you desire is already complete, whatever that may be. You can say, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. You can have any sort of affirmation you want. You want to make it generalized or specific. I want you to think of an affirmation, okay? And I want you to get it very clear in your mind. I want you to memorize it in your mind. And then I want you to repeat it 100 times, okay? 100 times without stopping. And you can do this with your eyes open and your eyes closed. It doesn't matter. But you have to get to 100 times without your mind drifting. You say the affirmation 30 times, and your mind drifts off to something. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I forgot to brush my teeth, or I need to go to the bathroom. And then you have to go to the bathroom. When you come back, whatever your mind does, you have to come back. Okay, you have to restart from the beginning, from 1 to 100. And you have to count this. See, this is a very crucial test, a testament to your attention and how bad you want your desire, right? Because if you knew for sure that if you affirmed something 100 times, you would get it before you go to bed at night. If you knew for sure, can you and do you have the ability to focus your attention on an affirmation to count from 1 to 100 without your mind drifting? Do you have that capability? What if it happened? What if I told you that no matter what it is that you're trying to create, if you can affirm that or say that within yourself 100 times without your mind drifting at all, and you're not just saying it really, really quick, you're saying it and you feel it each and every time. You're not just rushing through it. You're saying it, you're very relaxed, you're comfortable, and you're very confident, okay? So you feel this is already being done. If I told you that if you could do that 100 times, you could have anything you want, would you even be able to do it? So that's your exercise tonight. I want you to do that tonight, and I want you to count 100 times this affirmation, whatever it may be, whatever is specific to you. It can be anything. It could be I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. It could be anything like that. Just come up with something, memorize it, make sure that you know it, and then start repeating it and see if you can get to 100. Because this is a very powerful exercise. It shows you where your attention is and if you can even do this. And I want you to come back to this video and leave a comment if you were able to do it or you weren't able to do it. And you continue to do it until you can do it. And you will start to develop your attention. And then we can move on to the next exercises where you start to develop visualization skills, okay? This is a very powerful exercise. And a lot of this stuff might even come into your life from doing this. And you might find that you're not even able to do it. And so it's going to show you what you need to work on within your attention. All right, guys, I love you so much. Please do this exercise. Leave a comment below. Actually, leave a comment right now. Leave a comment below of what that affirmation is. I want you to be very clear. I want you to come up with an affirmation now, and I want you to type that below in the comments box, and I want to see that. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.